working for an American company. From a financial standpoint, it's a very great boost to my capability to provide for my family, for the things that we just thought was just a wish, but we were able to afford them. Before, for my previous company, I contented with just having a tricycle so I could have a means for the kids to send and pick up from school. But now we were able to afford a car, so that was a good thing.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to hire a remote team in another country? What challenges might you face? What opportunities could you unlock? And more importantly, have you ever stopped to consider the profound impact you could have on the lives of those individuals and their families? In this very special episode of Empower and Elevate, we take you behind the scenes to explore these questions and more. We filmed on location in the Philippines with our remarkable remote team from Current Tech Solutions. Together, we discussed the blending of cultures, their experiences working with an American company, and how it has transformed their lives and families in ways you may not expect. Get ready for a powerful conversation about connection, opportunity, and the global reach of teamwork and leadership. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Take a few moments here to introduce everyone. Today, Sharmi.
This is Charmy Lucena. I am the Sales and Marketing Associate.
I am Joy Escala. I am an accounting associate of Current Tech Solution. I've been with Mark for July 2022.
Hi, this is Michelle Madara. I am the service coordinator of Current Tech Solutions, and I've been with this company for 2 years already.
Hi, I'm Daniela Cayetano. I'm the creative coordinator of this podcast. I've been with Mark for a year now.
Hi, I am Ron, and I'm one of the technical team members of the Current Tech Solutions Group.
Hello, I am Raymond. I'm part of the systems team.
Very good. Thank you all. All right. So first question as we get started here is, what does being together in Cebu for this retreat mean to you? And how has it strengthened your connection with your team and the company?
So, first and foremost, before getting here, there are struggles that I faced. With my family because our flight was canceled. And then, we didn't make it to the company dinner.
I was very disappointed that you couldn't make it for that.
Yeah. So, our flight rescheduled tomorrow.
The next day.
Yeah, next day in the morning. So, it was disappointed at first, but then when we got here in Cebu, I'm so overjoyed with meeting you, Mark, in person, and everyone else since we met 1 year ago. It's been a year, so.
So it's a year since the team got together without my presence here, and at that time you were outside in the Manila area.
And this year's so special because you are here in person with us, with the team.
Well, it's special for me, and thank you for coming. Joy? Same question.
Yeah. For me, on top of all, it was really meeting with you, Mark, since I already meet all of the teams, and also it is also an advantage for me since we are meeting here in Cebu. It is my province. I can visit my parents as well, and also I am excited to show everyone what is Cebu, and also I enjoyed all the activities that we did, like for example for the city tour, and also trying other foods that we tried last night. Yeah, it was my first time as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a very good dinner, right?
Right. Yeah.
Michelle, coming together here in Cebu, what does it mean to you?
I think this is like the plot twist of this year because meeting you here in person, since we've been like 2 years being with you in the company, wherein we can only see you virtually. So this is like how it feels like to be with Mark. Like not really working right now, but then like being with you here, enjoying things, like experiencing first things. Like for example, me personally, I first time experienced snorkeling, and it's with you. So
That was
I'm
pretty
so
amazing,
happy.
right?
Yes.
Snorkeling, yes.
Though there are instances that at first we struggled because we cannot breathe in the water, but then when we saw all the fishes, and it's like wow, it's amazing. And then food as well, we are so happy that you tried all those foods that we would love you to try. And then we got so excited for it, so we are also not thinking about you being full because you would really like to you to experience a lot, and it's just like a 1/4 of what we would like to you to try in the Philippines. So yeah, that's it for me.
Well, thank you for coming. And yeah, the snorkeling was my first time too. So it was our first together. It was an absolutely amazing experience.
Yeah.
So for you,
For me, of course, first meeting you in person. Finally, the virtual journey of our team is finally over at once. But then, yeah, I am happy to finally meet you, even though it was really an adventure going here. Not in a bad way. My adrenaline is way up there, but I enjoy every bit of it. And then of course, I'm so happy that I was able to enjoy Cebu with our family members and my teammates as well. Connecting with nature with you guys is amazing, and of course, sharing meal with you guys is magical every time because we eat a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just so happy, and I'm looking forward for more of this with Kay the next time. Yeah.
well,
So,
thank
yeah.
you, Danny. Thank you. Ron.
So yeah, for me, this has been 6 months in the planning. So there've been a lot of things that we've went through, like just with looking for a place to visit, to stay at. What are the activities we will be doing? How do we arrange the members to come with us and enjoy the celebration together? Especially that we wanted to incorporate the culture of Thanksgiving from the U.S. and also the traditional dining that we do in the Philippines. It's something that we just thought of last minute, but it actually worked out pretty well for us. So, yeah, I think doing this for everyone strengthens the bond of the team, not just with having fun, but also getting to know each other more, and also like being comfortable with each other. Especially, we've always been working remotely, and we only see each other from our computer screens. But now that we're together, we can just actually be with each other, and that's something that we haven't done a lot in the past, but we've always struggled to make things, or not struggle, but strive to make things possible, for especially for like members who are near each other. Yeah, so it means a lot because especially you, Mark, not driving, but like going on a plane halfway across the world just to meet us and be with us and get to know our families, the members themselves, and our culture. So that means a lot to me as well. So.
Blending the two cultures for Thanksgiving, and even though I called it the wrong thing and was calling it a booty fight, it's okay, right? It gives us something to laugh about. But no, that was an absolutely phenomenal experience with the food and goodness. That was a lot of food. A lot of food. In America, when Thanksgiving dinner, you used to say we overeat, right? You said the turkey, the ham, all the different potatoes, the dessert, like this goes on, right? And then you sit around and nap, in the afternoon and watch football. So typically, and kind of the same experience. We ate late enough that then we could just all kind of crash, right? And a little bit later. So thank you, Ron, for spearheading the event, you took that responsibility on and said, hey, you know, I'll do it, and you were willing to, and thank you so much. I appreciate all your hard efforts in making this happen. I know that it came with its challenges and a lot of last minute changes, but it all worked out very well, and it's absolutely been phenomenal. Raymond.
Yep. The experience, it's pretty amazing. Meeting you personally for the first time. At first, I was anxious on what to expect, but you were very accepting when you met us here in the resort. You've accepted my family, and they've enjoyed it a lot. And
Great.
re-meeting with the teammates and friends, it was very uplifting feeling for us. Aside from meeting with the teams, since we've always been talking about work, having small talks, personal talks with the team and you as well, it's a different experience, and it lights up the mood. We haven't experienced any, how do I say it, negative experience. The kids were enjoying their stay, my wife, the family, and I've seen our teammates were able to enjoy themselves. So totally, it was a very good experience for me.
Well, it was an absolutely wonderful experience for me, and getting to meet your families, you know, the ability to bring your families with you, you know, and kind of disrupt their normal day-to-day lives to come join us for this. My only thing I could say with that is I wish we could have a little bit more family time so we could interact a little bit more with the families as well. So maybe the next time we plan an extra day, or we kind of cut some of our team building activities just to spend some more times with the families as one. But that was really enjoyable to meet everyone's families that joined. And I know that you had 2 children that stayed behind, and maybe next time they can join us as well.
Definitely.
Awesome. So, you know, I want to get a little bit about, you know, working for an American company. So what has been the most rewarding part for working for an American company to date for you? Yeah, Dani.
For me, working for an American company really gives me this sense of pride that of the things that I'm capable of doing in terms of output, especially for creatives, because American companies really appreciate art. It's not that Philippines doesn't appreciate it, but we are not very well compensated when we are hired by Filipino companies or Filipino-owned companies, because arts here are not very supported, unlike American companies, especially Marc. So I've been able to expand my skill and hone new ones. So I was a traditional artist before, went to digital because of my fiance, but then I started photography too, and now I'm doing this podcast with Marc, editing video, shooting this video, setting this up, writing the program flow or the show flow. So it's a new different journey for me, because I started writing, started doing plannings and scheduling, and more on production stuff, and it's amazing because I didn't know that I can do it. I was just watching this from other people before, but experiencing it firsthand, it's really rewarding.
Well, I know that you push yourself outside your comfort zone and taking on
Too
a lot of
much.
different, yeah, right? Like I remember one of the first, I guess, instances of that when we were talking about a design or something, and you're like, well, maybe we should find someone that can do that thing. And you're like, wait, I'll try it. And, you know, you've tried a lot of new things. And once again, we're a small business, right? So as a small business, we all kind of got to maybe get outside of our comfort zone and do some things, maybe we're not experienced at, but we all kind of contribute in different ways just to make it happen. We don't have that luxury of being able to have 100 people and each one do a very specific thing. So I thank you for being uncomfortable and trying new things and expanding your skill set.
I always seek discomfort. So yeah.
Yeah, Ron.
So for me, previously I was working for a Filipino company. Actually, I was working with Danny on the same company, and I live about 18, 19 miles away. But due to traffic conditions here in the Philippines, that 19 miles would take me around 2.5 hours one way to go to work, and also another 2.5 hours to go back home. And working remotely for an American company, it gives me the freedom to just stay at home and be with my family instead of wasting 5 or 6 hours of my life just traveling to work. And then also like giving me the flexibility to have those 5 or 6 hours to do something else to make it more productive. And also, yeah, we cannot argue with the fact that it pays well compared to what I'm doing before. I'm doing a lot of things before, but I'm not well compensated. But yeah, I think it's because Americans would like to, what's the term for that? Compensate people decently for their for the job or the contributions they make for the company, whereas locally it's just based on your job description. It doesn't matter like what you're doing, what's in it. Yeah, and the educational attainment also plays in role. So that if you're not, if you didn't graduate in a specific like degree, but you can do the job, it doesn't really count. So yeah, it will just add to your resume that you can do it, but they'll still not use that as your accomplishments to allow you to be qualified for a role. So yeah, that's the flexibility that it gives.
You know, that's one of those things, Ron. I distinctly remember when we first talked, and maybe the first and second time that we talked, and was that commute and hearing about that, and I was like, wow, you know, that first I was amazed at the short distance and how much time it was involved, right? But that 5-6 hours a day that you were sacrificing for that commute and the dangers involved with that. You talked about an accident on a motorcycle at one point, and then, you know, then the more safety factor by driving a car, but then it takes longer. But yeah, to get that time back to spend with your family, I thought that was definitely something that was a value for you,
Yeah,
right?
well, and
by
to
working
add to
remotely.
Yeah, and to add to it, when I was working in that company before, I'm so exhausted every weekdays that my weekends will just be to stay at home and rest for the next week. But unlike now, I can use even the same day that I work to do other things, and also my weekend is like fully vacant for them to do whatever they want, and I'll be going with them. And I make it a practice that every weekend, at least once, we go out to the mall, eat lunch, and then have the kids play around in the indoor playground or the arcade, the amusement park. So those things I haven't done before just because I didn't have the energy left for in me to like do it during the weekends because I'm so drained during weekdays.
Understandable, definitely. And it's good also get you out of the house at that point. So if you're working at home, you don't have a reason to leave necessarily. So this way it gets you out of the house and get some fresh air.
Right.
So Raymond, you're in Dumaguete area there. For you, you had a little bit less of a commute. But for you, what's the most rewarding part of working for an American company?
Working for an American company, from a financial standpoint, it's a very great boost to my capability to provide for my family, for the things that we just thought was just a wish, but we were able to afford them. Like where we were before for my previous company, I contented with just having a tricycle so I could have a means for the kids to send and pick up from school. But now we were able to afford a car, so that was a good thing. And we were able to renovate our home, so we were able to put another floor. Even though it's still unfinished, but we've already started, so there's no more direction to go to but to finish it up. And for the personal and career standpoint, I was able to know myself better. I was able to identify my weaknesses and my strength. And yep, from those lessons and knowing those, I was able to improve myself. And having an American boss really helps because Filipino employers sometimes sugarcoats things. They don't meant what they are saying. It's like everything's good, everything's fine, but then they will just fire you or give you some demerits. But for you, you've been very vocal, so we know when we're out of line or we're doing good. So you do recognize our efforts and our achievements as well.
Yeah, I know that with you in particular, you were with the company for a very long time that you were working for previously, correct?
13 years.
13 years, yeah. And that was obviously a risky change for you to make.
It was. If it wasn't for my wife pushing me to do a remote job, then I wouldn't do it because I'm already in my comfort zone. So doing a remote job, I was thinking that, oh no, I couldn't do it because it's gonna exhaust me since I'm already doing a full-time job. And then if I'm going to get another one, then what's gonna happen to me with my health and with, yeah, total, how would I say it? It's like, it's 180 degree from the lifestyle that we had before.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Charmy.
Yeah, so for me, this is a different kind of experience. It's first time working remote setup. So during the pandemic, sorry, we were almost zero, but then, yeah, it's just an ambition that working remotely, work from home experience, work from home dream. It's like impossible for me and my family because I need more experience. That's what's in my head. I need more experience in sales and marketing and then social media. So our last money, our last savings, we invested one laptop. That's the so I didn't expect that would be my ticket to be working in an American company, Mark.
Wow. So that was you invested in a laptop, and at that point, got online and
Then go to online.
yeah,
Online
yeah.
apply.
Wow. I don't think you've ever told me that. I know that we talked about your past work experience as things that you had done previously, but I don't think we ever had the conversation about the laptop. That's something I don't remember. So thank you for
Forgot to
sharing
share.
that. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that with us. And for you in particular, I know that you have grown and tried a lot of different things as well, right? When we first brought you on board, we quickly learned that you had a desire to do something different than what we initially had talked about. And so we gave you the opportunity to try to explore that and work on those skills, correct? I mean,
Yes, Mark.
if I remember correctly, that's really how things went.
Yeah, I'm into learning and developing my skills more. And thank you for letting me.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate you investing your time and energy in learning those new skills and as you continue to grow and evolve. Joy.
For me, one of the most rewarding that I experienced working in an American company is I was able to work during my vacations. So since I am living in different area from my hometown, so from my previous company, I need to file a vacation leave for 7 days, and I don't have they don't pay me for those 7 days.
So your time off was not paid. So you filed for vacation, it was unpaid?
I do have 5 days, but if you already use those 5 days, so if you file a leave, so they doesn't pay for me. So unlike working in an American company, you can just bring your as long as you have a laptop and also an internet connection, so you can work and you will have a pay. So yeah, that's one. And also for flexibility as on time. Way back then, you need to prepare like 2 hours before your start working hours.
Really?
Like yeah, you need to prepare for yourself, and also 1 hour for the travel time, since Philippines is known
Okay.
for traffic.
Yeah.
So
The
yeah.
commute.
Yes. So, and lastly is the most rewarding that happened to me, working with an American company for the past 2 years. So yeah, I was. It's really, I can't imagine that I can save a lot, of, and I was able to build my house. So it's not yet finished, but yeah, we're getting there. So yeah, I'm just so thankful, and I can't imagine that I will be having my own house. So.
I know that was pretty special to hear you go through that process. I know you shared a little bit with me here and there, and I know you kept it quiet for a little bit, and then you kind of shared a little bit, and then you were all kind of looking around, and
share.
I think you were looking at like auction type scenarios with buying houses, and then and then when you were able to buy your house and then renovate, and I know you're still doing some of those renovations, but to add on and redo it, and I know it's been exciting to watch the progress. And I can't wait to see the progress in person. It'd be amazing.
Lastly, is working with an American company is quite different from working in a local company, especially on the like for example for Mark, he's the boss. He is very approachable to talk with. I think when I was working in local company, I only talk to my boss like all for works. It's nothing personal. So yeah, it's really an advantage that we do have a one-on-one meeting during monthly, so we can say what insights. So with you, Mark, and issues, and yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that time and that you're willing to share your personal life with me as well. Being remote, we don't get the benefit of having hallway conversations, cooler conversations, break room conversations. Hey, what's going on? Those type of things, and spending that time one on one every month and just kind of talking about you and what's going on. And I know I sometimes maybe overshare a little bit in my own life, but so you get to know me and I get to know you, and I really value that time, and I know that I always look forward to that, and we want to make sure we always try to continue that. And this month, obviously, we're doing our one-on-ones in person, right? So we're getting time and spending a day together, and that's our one-on-one time, and I look forward to that. And not only that, but sharing your local, right? Your local culture, your local towns, cities, and sharing that with me, the things that are important to you and where you've been raised and those type of things. I'm looking forward to that. So thank you, Joy. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you, Mark.
I think they all said everything.
Everything? That you're not getting out that easy now. Come on. So
To conclude,
nice try though.
Just
Nice
kidding.
try.
But since we heard all of their stories,
Yes.
I will just gonna share my most that's the question. So that's the most
That's the
rewarding.
question. Yeah, the most rewarding.
Personally, that's going to be Mark, accepted me, not only because of my previous job experiences, but also being with you in a company for 2 years. Like what others said, that we have discovered different skills that we do have, and we can also learn with us working remotely and or virtually. And aside from that, comparing to working in a local or corporate job here in the Philippines, wherein you experience a lot of stress and a lot of hours of working with such low compensation. But here with you, working with you in American company. Feels like we just get out from the cage. So and it feels like we are appreciated, and because even though we did not like do our job, I mean, even though we were just doing our work like in a bare minimum standpoint, you're still appreciated, but still you want us to improve, to grow, and you want us to learn a lot. So you have you keep on asking us what will be the things that we would like to learn aside from what from past experiences. So with the trainings that you are like, especially with me, I know, and I am guilty that sometimes I am lacking in some skills and in some, like, especially in communication. But then you're very like welcoming when it comes to the trainings, the courses that you would like us to, me, especially me, to have, so that I can grow, I can explore my ability. And working in another like company, we don't do that here. So we just settled on what we have experienced, like working. But yeah, that's, I think, the very rewarding part is we ought to expand our potential, and not only because you would like us to do this, to do that, but you would like us to like discover things that I can do this, and I can do that, and apart from the things that we learn from, like, for example, working with you for 2 years, we're still looking forward for another like skills or learnings that we can be, or we can potentially have in the future. So we're really looking forward to it.
And you said something that kind of flashed back to one of our initial conversations, was you were working a lot of overtime, or you look forward to that, obviously, because that was how you're making ends meet. And I think one of our discussions initially was, how do we get you to a point you don't have to, we don't want you working the overtime, right? I want you working your set hours, and not, you're getting that time to do other things, all right? Your friends, family. And thank you once again, too, for you. In your case, we talked about investing in you and learning to continue to grow and expand your skills. And we talk about communication, and we'll touch on that a little bit more here shortly. Working remotely, obviously, that communication is something that is more important than even in person, because we talked about this. We can't have those side conversations. It's not, you can, we talk about Caden. Caden could just walk in my office, and even though I might be doing something and he walks in, he can still, I know he needs something, and we can just talk about it. So when we talk about communication, we'll just kind of move on to the next question here. As we talk about communication, what part of the communication aspect do you feel is most important, right, in that communication with not only other team members, myself, and our clients, but what things have you done to try to improve that for yourself? And maybe I need to reword that question, but what role does that communication play in overcoming the challenges working remotely?
I think for me, communication played well with our company setup, because we work remotely. So since as Kuya Raymond mentioned that in Filipino companies, they tend to sugarcoat without us knowing that we are not doing well anymore. They sugarcoat until the end, until we got fired. But then when it comes to American companies, especially with our group dynamic or team dynamics with you, Mark, you're very vocal on things that we need to improve, and it's not that you're straightforward in a negative way, because as Michelle mentioned too, you're very straightforward, but you extend the hand to enroll us to different conferences, different courses that would help us discover a new skill or improve what we already have. So communication that we have right now, it can still be improved because we have lapses from
Sure.
time to time. We don't communicate everything up until now, but there are important things that we really communicated very well, because as for us, your team, we don't hesitate calling you, just ringing you, without you don't require us to ping you first or send you a message first before calling you. It's not that it's in not in all companies we can call our CEO directly. So we can reach out to you anytime that we need you. Not always you will answer because you're always busy, but then when you notice that we're trying to reach you call us back as soon as you're available. So
Even though sometimes I do need a reminder. Hey, like Ron, hey, do you see my message? Oh shoot!
yeah,
right?
or sometimes if you're talking to one of us will message that person. Are you talking to Mark? Yeah, please tell him I messaged him. So that's happening too, because
yeah.
it's easy to approach you, and it's easier to approach you in a way that you don't have this really strict hierarchy in this organization. That's why it's very it's the flow of the team is very light. So it's not really restrictive, and you really encourage us to talk to you directly instead of going around the bushes. So yeah.
Thanks. And Ron, let's touch a little bit as we talk about the communication. Do you feel that the communication is more important with the difference in our cultures?
I think it plays a big role, especially how people communicate between each other based on their culture. So remember I shared with you yesterday, just as an example, that there's a big difference on how we receive gifts. Right?
Yes.
So if in Asian culture, like if you receive a gift, it's like rude to open it up in front of them and show them your reaction to it. But rather, what we do is to take the gift, open it privately, and then send them a message or a letter to thank them for the gift. Whereas in American culture, you open it up just because you want to see their reaction. So yeah, something like that also applies to communication in general. Like the dynamics on how we communicate with our fellow teammates might differ just because we're used to not having direct access to our higher ups. So some will not be comfortable with talking to you directly, or might just wait until you call them and then ask about it before they open it up with you. Unlike some, like me personally, I don't care if it's not the right time to ask about it, but I'll ask it because now it's important. And I'll make sure to follow it up with you until I get the answer that I need. Whereas other people might not have the courage to do it because they're not used to going to the person directly and always like tailing them until they get what they need. So yeah, it plays a big role. And in a remote environment, you cannot always follow that person personally, because yeah, in an office setup, you can just walk around and then until you find the person and then talk to them.
Chase them down.
Yeah, chase them down is the right term. Yeah, but in a remote environment, the only way you can chase them down is just messaging them or calling them. So it's still something that I think the whole team needs improvements on, or like strengthen our communication skills within the team. But I think we're getting there, because there are times where I feel like you're getting the answers you need, and we are getting the answers we need from you.
But to your point, obviously one of our core values is communication, but I know that we're constantly needing to remind ourselves of that. So, right? I mean, we can't just. It's just we get so caught up in the tasks we're doing that sometimes we kind of forget about the communication aspect. And I know I'm guilty of it, and I'm always have to remind myself I need to do better and to make sure we communicate Raymond, speaking of communication and culture differences, you and I talked a lot in the very beginning, and I leaned on you heavily as our first hire in the Philippines, communicating because of that culture differences, because I was trying to learn a lot, right? And I'm still trying to learn. Talk to me a little bit about your communication with me and teaching me the Filipino culture. Do you recall some of those conversations?
Yeah, most of it, but those things are kind of bizarre conversations. Like, what monsters do we have here?
Right.
And also, you've been very generous because of that communication since we open up our culture. We do have our 13th month pay and we do have our vacation leave. So even though you're not required to provide us the 13th month, but you've been very generous in adopting that culture as well. So that's also the benefit of communication. And with the PTOs, yep, even though you're not required to give us that, but you've been very generous giving us those perks. And with cultural differences, I think we've also talked about, even though we're in the Philippines, we also have our differences with the provinces since we're working remotely.
Right.
Charmy working in Mindanao, even though we have the same dialect, but still we still have our differences. And the rest of the team that are working in Luzon, we also have our differences as well. And with those differences, along the way, we were able to adjust and work on our differences and improve the team communication and be more efficient with our task. Since before, you'll have to point out things since we're missing this part, since we haven't communicated it with the team. So that part, I could say that we're much more fluid in our workflow, but still we need improvements, but we're getting there. In due time, we will be like a well-oiled machine.
That's the goal, right? Thank you. And you mentioned, I was going to kind of go there. You talked about the different dialects. Charmy, you're farthest south. What challenges in communication have you firsthand experienced, whether it was me or with the team, because of that difference in your local cultures and the dialect?
Yeah, so communication skills is one of my weak point. So because I don't know how to express my feelings more vocally, I just keep it inside. So the challenges that I face is speaking English fluently and learning Tagalog with the team also. And yeah, so there's this one instance, Mark, that I sometimes update you, especially profile images for social media, that I don't know where to send it on Teams or in an email. Then, yeah, I don't know how to feel if you like it or not, because seeing you just typing, it's like rumbling in my mind that I think that he doesn't like it or something like that. So
Well, and that's something, and I'll just, once again, being transparent, that's something I need to work on myself, right? You shouldn't have to feel that way. We should have a workflow or process, where those things go, right? It shouldn't be a question of whether to go by email or Teams or SharePoint. And so, yeah, valid point, and that confusion, we need to fix some of those things. And because it shouldn't weigh on you, or it shouldn't be confusing for you, and not trying to introduce additional stresses in your life or your work, right? So thanks for bringing that up, and that's something that we're always working on, trying to be better. And yeah, but yes, the communication piece, as we continue to improve that. And you said working with your teammates as well in your communication.
I need to learn Tagalog.
Yeah. Now, Joy, talk to me a little bit when we talk about that communication aspect. Have you experienced any struggles in that communication with working, obviously working remotely and having teammates that aren't in the same office as you?
Yes, I really did. But first, way back then, when I just came from our home, what do we call this one? From Bantayan Island, when I get here from to Bulacan, and
From your birthplace, from your
Yes.
birthplace province.
yeah, and I was taking my college. It's really some other Filipino, it's really bully, especially in the pronunciation. So yeah, when I was in college, I was struggling in my pronunciations. I believe I already mentioned it to you. So that is why I'm just thankful to one of my friends that they helped me to pronounce well.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm still right now I still have mistakes on pronunciations, but it's better than way back then. And also for now, to be honest, before applying in an American company, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, especially.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't just apply and same here in the local companies. I was expecting that all job interviews is really there are lots of questions. So yeah, I was thankful that when we conversing during our interviews, it seems like it's just a casual one. Yeah, and also I'm thankful to you, Mark, since when we are on the meeting, especially on works, you were always suggesting or when I am struggling of few words that I need to to speak, and you were like you are suggesting some other words, and I was like, yeah, you're right. So that's it. That's what I meant. So yeah.
Well, sometimes I suggest things that I'm wrong, or I hear things wrong, right? And that's we talk. It's one thing being in person. Another thing we were working with technology and potential problems there, right? With, we all the time we're running into problems with things not working quite right, or internet connections, or we miss part of that conversation. It can happen, right, to any of us, especially if maybe I'm mobile and trying to communicate, right?
Yeah.
And lastly, Michelle, for you, is there anything that sticks in your head when it comes to communication, and whether the challenges or importance of that for you?
Of course, communication is a plays vital role when it comes to service coordination, because
Sure.
it's me who's of course talking or coordinating with clients and with our resources, so that we can have those tickets completed. And I understand that for me, I'm still very lacking of it, because our setup on my previous work, I'm just gonna tap my workmate like, "Hey, did you finish your job? Have you done this? Have you done that?" Wherein working virtually, you're right that sometimes we misunderstood words, especially in chat. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just asking.
Right.
And then that's a lot of struggle on that part, because sending message like, are we allowed to put some emojis on this, so that he'll not gonna think
We're not
that I am
perceiving it wrong or taking it the wrong way.
or
Yeah.
should I call him by names or what?
Yeah.
Especially with you, Mark, because sometimes when I need I need to ask you some question from our resources, I need to do I need to be formal about this, or just casual because this is urgent? And then there you go, you're just gonna call me and then ask me what's the question, because
What do you want?
sometimes we didn't understand each other. But I'm working on it, so like what I've mentioned, I'm training right now. I'm working with a course that you wanted me to take, so I'm working on it so I can be more fluent because of course the language barrier it's also one of the struggle. But yeah, I will be more open when it comes to communication because yeah, that will gonna give us a lot of like solid flow on our on service team. So that's it for me.
All right. Well, I am just going to make a quick comment here. I know that obviously we do have flights coming up that we have to transport and get around for. So we'll just go through a couple speed questions here, just kind of throw out. And if you got something to add in, we won't go through every individual. But so let's talk about the unique challenges you face working remotely. And I know we've talked about communication, some of the things, but some of the things I specifically remember was adjusting. So some of you had a really hard time adjusting to the hours that we were keeping, right? Can you add or comment on that, those challenges working remotely, specifically when it comes to how we're working different hours, whether it may be your home work setup as far as communication technology and those things, because we know we all the time have some problems here and there, right? So can you touch on some of those and how they impact you?
Yeah, I have one. So,
Great, Ron.
so when I applied for this role, I'm still working with my previous company, and I told Mark that I still need time to render for the last 30 days of my work, and he allowed me to take it. But the week before I was supposed to start with Mark, they wanted me to stay longer with them, and they're okay with working with Mark at night and then working in the Philippine company in the morning. So I was technically doing two jobs that time and had to travel the 6 hours round trip journey every day. So the biggest struggle for me is adjusting just because I personally needed time to rest, and I don't know how I will get that rest if I'm working 18 hours a day and then 6 hours of traveling. So it's
Yeah.
24 hours in total. So what I ended up doing was having my wife learn how to drive so that when we're going from work, because we work at the same company as well. So me, Danny, and my wife works in the same company before. So she drives to work, and then I sleep during the trip, and then work the whole 8 hours, and then drive back, and then I also go to sleep, and then work with Mark at night. So that's a huge adjustment that I had to take, and especially as soon as I come home, I'll need to set up my equipment. I had to log into my tools, etc., and be prepared for the whole day again. So it's very tiring, but yeah, it came to a point that I had to let go of the other company, and yeah, ever since I think it all went well just because I didn't have to waste 6 hours of my day. So that's one for me.
Yeah, I think for me the adjustment of working at night is that it's at night and all the things that we needed day by day or emergency purposes is at morning. So when you work at night and you need example for me, I need to accompany my mom for her dialysis treatments. So I need to go with her. I log out at 2:30 a.m. Philippine time, and then I need to wake up again at 5:30 or 6 to accompany her. So but then it gives me additional a proper time or additional time that my mom needs from me, and my fiance needs from me to cook for him because he works regular Philippine hours. So I can cook for him and vice versa during the nights. But then the struggle is balancing at first balancing life on day-to-day basis and career at night. But then I was blessed enough to be adjusted in it in a short period of time. But yeah, it's a struggle at first because I need to do things in the morning Philippine time.
Sure.
Yeah, but then at night I need to have a lot of energy, a lot of focus that that I should be getting from sleep. So yeah, that's the but now it's kind of harmonious when it comes to personal and career wise and rest in between. But yeah, sometimes I just when I don't when I cannot sleep at around 3:30 or 4:30 a.m. Philippine time, I just don't sleep anymore. I wait for the next shift so that I could rest. Because if I sleep now, I'll be grumpy the whole day, and Mark knows that. So I rather not sleep and wait for the next shift because I'll have my schedule aligned and my body clock aligned again. So yeah, that's it for me.
That's what you, okay. So, you know, as you talked about, once again, you know, I lost my train of thought. Those challenges of working those hours and things, Charmy, you're kind of looking there like you've got something to throw in there. So throw us, what do you got?
Yeah. So, as a sleepy person, I can sleep
I think there's another
13
word for
hours
that.
a day.
Yeah, to put it lightly, you like to sleep.
It's one of my huge adjustment in life. So, yeah, it's a huge adjustment for me. And then
No, you got two young girls at home, and we also know, you know, obviously we're working the night shift, the graveyard shift, as they say. Has that been much of an adjustment, or how have you adjusted to accommodate your children
they
and their
are
schedules?
they are grown up, 10 and 9 years old, so they don't need me 24 hours a day because in the morning, whole day they are in school, and then at night they will, after they do their assignment or homework, they just go straight to sleep, and then yeah, that's when I work. So
Okay. And enjoy you specifically. I do recall some conversations where we talked about you were struggling sleeping. And it comes down to, I'm pretty sure it was, you know, and I think, and Michelle's smiling too, because I remember her talking with her too about it, is that adjusting to sleeping during the day without aircon, right? Yeah, everyone's like, yep. I mean, and I never gave that any thought personally, right? But you're right. You know, I don't have the climate that you do. And I even remember Michelle talking about she would go over to sleep with the neighbors, I believe, or downstairs somewhere. It was concrete or something. It was cooler. Can you tell us a little bit about that and that adjustment, or the struggle of that adjustment?
Yeah, I really struggles a lot way back then, like few months since I got hired, since I can't sleep during daytime, especially it if it's really hot. So I need also to invest in aircon, like just what you mentioned, and a blackout curtain as well. And also,
I think does everyone have blackout curtains now? Right? Yeah.
That's essential.
yeah. And also, I don't know how to deal with my neighbor.
And I was going to bring that up. You had karaokeing neighbors, and you had a neighbor that loved to play their guitar, or kids out in the street playing their click clack things, or what are you talking about? What was the name of that? Yeah.
Yeah, since we our shift ends at 4:30, so I have time to sleep around 2 hours, but for 4:30 up until 6:30 in the morning. But it's only 6 in the morning. They are already. It's too noisy, so that's why I wake up, because I'm not like Charmy.
Sleeps
Small
or
sons, I
anything.
already wake up.
And then she just falls back asleep, you know?
Yeah. And and when I what do you call this one, when I transfer on the different location where I am living right now, so I wasn't able to install an aircon for that since it doesn't have a ceiling. I was just go to my best friend's house just to sleep. So yeah, that's really a huge adjustment.
Well, and I that's something about you. I remember too, as you were having your renovations, you had contractors that are working on your house, and you'd have to like try to monitor what they were doing during the daytime when you really should have been sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, and so you took you had to adjust to that, and I know that sometimes I'm sure you were tired, but you had to keep an eye on those contractors, right?
It's right.
Michelle, is there anything you had to throw in there real quick before we move on to the next one?
The barking dogs.
The barking dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my struggle.
Yeah.
Because I actually plan to move in this year, and there's a lot of dogs as well. So I was just, oh my God, I think dogs. In the past lives, I one of the dogs. So the dogs are still following me wherever I am. So, but aside from that, setting up my like bedroom or like an office setup as well. Setting up blackout curtains and air condition, and comparing to what I have before, it's really convenient for me right now, so I can sleep better, and of course, working during the night, like what Danny said. I almost always forgot that, oh, it's night, so sometimes I ordered something, but oh my God, they are closed already. And then when I try to contact someone, oh, they are already asleep. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's already 11 p.m. In the Philippine time. So, oh, I thought it's still early. So yeah, that's somehow an adjustment, but we're dealing with it perfectly right now. So.
You were able to adjust. So, and I can say firsthand, with being here, oh my goodness, right? Like, I don't know what day
So
of the
you
week it is, let alone what time it is back at home, and then people are communicating like, what are they still doing up? I'm like, wait a second, what time is this, right? Or, it's been very confusing. So I can
Yes.
imagine, what that's like now at firsthand. Now I know what that, a little taste of that, right? So, as we kind of bring this home, short and sweet, if you could describe your experience with Current Tech Solutions in one word or phrase, what would that be?
Rewarding for
That's
me.
a pageant question.
Who's got the mic? Who's got the mic? Raymond,
If it's just a one word,
one word or phrase,
rewarding.
rewarding.
Wow. Don't pass the mic yet. I cannot think.
You got. Well, Michelle's got a mic. If she wants to throw something out, or
Yeah, for me it's comforting.
comforting.
Yes.
Mine is life-changing.
Life changing.
Mine's blessing.
Blessing.
For me, it's an adventure. Yeah.
I don't have a word anymore.
You don't have a word anymore?
I think it's amazing.
Good recovery. Good
Yeah,
recovery.
thank you.
Well, first off, all those words are very mutual for me, right? I could explain my experience with each and every one of you using every one of those words. I can 100% relate. I start tearing up. Life-changing, blessing, amazing, rewarding, all these things. We can continue on level 6. It's been a hell of an adventure. Definitely. And, I would just want to take right here, as we close this out, because I don't want anybody late for their flights. We've already had missed flights getting here. Thank you. Thank you for such an amazing experience. Thank you for taking the time to come here, travel, drag your family, your wife, your kids, your partner here, and spend some time together. Together in Cebu, united as one family, blending our cultures, breaking bread together, sharing laughs, drinks, food, experiences, snorkeling, going to a trip to paradise in the sands and starfish and the goodness, just absolutely amazing. Thank you all. I look forward to our next time that we get to do this. And in between now and then, like I said, the one-on-ones, visiting each of you personally. Look forward to it.
Yeah, happy to serve, Mark.
You're the best, Mark. All right. Until next time. Hi, I'm Marc Thomas, founder and CEO of Current Tech Solutions and Cyber Guardians. We know business owners like you want to focus on growing your company, not worrying about IT problems or security threats. That's where we come in. Our team uses AI to protect your business from cyber risks and keep everything running smoothly. If you're ready for peace of mind and a stronger future, reach out to us today. Let's secure and elevate your business together.